Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. Hell of a verdict. We should have seen this coming. I think a lot of us did. Like many of you are saying in the live chat, Banana Republic of America, you couldn't be more right, Miriam. What is happening right now with our judicial system, our justice system, that's supposed to have the blindfold on, clearly has been lifting that blindfold for quite some time, starting with Barack Obama's presidency. You had Benghazi with Hillary Clinton. You have the Biden administration pulling their stunts left and right. But Donald Trump doesn't pay a parking ticket in New York City, and he gets hit with 34 charges. I got to be careful. We're on live stream. I can't cuss like normal, folks. This is BS. I'm pissed. You're damn right I'm pissed. Jurors returned a guilty verdict on Thursday in Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York, marking the first time a former U.S. president has been convicted of a crime. It's a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of hubbub. This is wild stuff we're seeing in the United States of America. Donald Trump's donation page crashed. There were so many Americans, just like all of us here in the live chat and watching together through this live stream. We actually are live. You know, bleep hit the fan. If Brad's getting on a live stream after work, I couldn't get home quick enough. His donation page shut. All right, I think we are now reconnected. I think my software crashed for one moment. I don't know if there's a ton of people trying to join or what. But back to what we were saying. Donald Trump, this whole thing was they originally get him off the campaign trail. If you recall, I don't know what happened, Jen. I apologize. It's the internet. The original goal here was to remove him off the ballot, right? Well, I mean, hell, the original goal, if you want to go way back to when he was president, was to impeach the guy so he couldn't run for office again. That was the original goal of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, if you all remember that one. Well, they couldn't get that to work in their favor. So they go, okay, well, if this guy decides to run again, let's just remove him off the ballot. And then people lost their ish. And so the next objective, since that didn't work out in their favor, was, well, let's just lock this guy up. Does he have any unpaid parking tickets? Let's go after the guy. And so now they're going after him from a hush money trial, which is completely bogus. From like 2015, 2016, almost a decade ago, it's already crossed that limit of statute of limitations. This whole thing is bogus. And so the objective was, well, let's keep the guy in the courtroom so he can't get in the campaign trail and sit there and gather a bunch of votes. And so when that didn't work out in their favor, because the dude was not going for the gag orders, he goes out and still is pulling 30, 40,000 people at events. And they're going, well, holy crap, we still can't shut this guy up. So what are we going to do next? Let's go ahead and sit there and do a whole switcheroo on what's actually normal in terms of court proceedings and totally do some sort of juggling effect like the clown show it is to get this guy in the best probability to get a verdict guilty, or guilty verdict, rather. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Legal experts doubt the 77-year-old will end up being incarcerated, though the Secret Service reportedly coordinated with local jail officials, which we just covered the other day. Now, everybody's covering this. Fox News is covering this. We got Ben Shapiro covering it, so we'll get to him in just one moment. We got it just being shown left and right on Twitter. I mean, folks, civil war is trending on Twitter right now. Rip America, President Trump, sentencing. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody wants civil war, but Tim Pool saying war. Benny Johnson's out here. We love our boy Benny. Tucker Carlson, import the third world, become the third world. That's what we just saw. You know, speaking of that, I'm going to go off a little tangent here. Somebody made a great point. Is, you know how Kamala Harris and the Biden administration have been saying, oh, it's all about global warming, it's climate change, on why 10 million people came here illegally through an invasion. Why is there no real women and children born across the border? Like, climate change would affect everybody, right? Not just, I don't know, military-aged males. Why is it all military-aged males that are the only ones really predominantly born across the border, Kamala, Biden? You psychos there in the Oval Office. But it does mark the end of the fairest justice system in the world. Anyone who defends this verdict is a danger to you and your, I'm assuming it's family. We'll see here. And your family. There you go. The jury was vetted for this outcome. I 100% agree with you. So I 100% agree. Everything was vetted. This is a clown show. Like it was mentioned, it's a banana republic. It's stuff you see from like socialist countries, quasi-communist. This is outrageous. I wouldn't even want this done to Joe Biden, you guys. I wouldn't want it done to Gavin Newsom. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter just because it's Donald Trump and I like the guy. This is insane. GOP, never surrender. You're damn right. I was just convicted, but if you can't afford to donate, please don't. If we can, let's get out there. Dan Bongino, who we love here, we're trying to get in touch with Dan Bongino. Gonna be glorious watching the first outlaw president kick the electoral shit out of these commie pussies in November. Bank on it, shit libs. Laugh now and down your cocktails because we'll all be slurping up your delicious tears. I love Dan. Delicious tears in a few months. Cash that check and spend it. It's going down. Hell yeah, Dan. I love Dan, man. Dan's really on par with what we do here on the channel. We don't hold back. It's a little bit easier for him because he's over at Rumble. Somebody I wanted to check out was Benny Johnson because Benny Johnson released something of Trump's Truth Social. And I guess he posted, and I'm trying to catch that for all of you. Here it is. Trump's campaign's website's crashed. I want to see what's going on Fox, though. We're just hanging out here, folks. Y'all know my opinion. This is a freaking sham.
Interfere with the 2016 presidential election. We'll break that all down for you. But from the beginning, this case should never have been brought. This judge should never have been allowed to sit on the case. These charges should have been dismissed when the first motion was filed by the defense. The jury instructions were fatally flawed. They were farcical. And you don't have to be a former law clerk to know that this was all a travesty. And all along, Bragg's case was just an extension of the otherwise doomed Biden campaign. This is a humiliating day for the country that we all love. It makes us look like a joke to the rest of the world. Is this what they meant by the American way? Democrats have shown us who they really are. They don't intend to give up power, not ever. And funny, that's what they like to accuse Trump of. And if this lawfare is rewarded in November, it will mean that never again will you have a real choice in the presidential election.
We'll come back to Fox News in just one moment. I want to get to Ben Shapiro's analysis here. We're not going to watch the whole thing. He is a lawyer, Harvard Law. We all know the man. Let's hear what he has to say regarding his reaction on this verdict. Let's roll it.
Late on Thursday afternoon, American democracy came under extraordinary threat when a New York jury, 12 New Yorkers, decided to convict Donald Trump. He has been found guilty by the jury on 34 separate felony counts. If he is sentenced to jail time, that jail time could be up to 4 years if all the sentences run concurrently. It's a travesty of justice. This case was a joke from the very beginning. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who set this entire thing up to become more famous and more powerful. Judge Juan Merchan, who basically gave every benefit to the prosecution, whose jury instructions were unprecedented in their willingness to flout the law. This was all set up to convict Donald Trump, simply so that Democrats could either jail Donald Trump or spend the next few months declaring Donald Trump a convicted felon for purposes of the election.
Correct. And that's exactly what they did regarding the whole insurrection debacle, right? They're still labeling Trump an insurrectionist. They're labeling him some dude that's a felon in the first place. Oh, he's been impeached twice or some other bogus thing. Ben's absolutely correct here.
The actual methodology by which he was found guilty is utterly uncertain. As we discussed a little bit earlier today, the reality is that there were 2 crimes alleged, a misdemeanor falsification of business records, which would not have resulted in any possible jail time. But that was reliant to become a felony on other crimes, unspecified crimes. And those crimes could have been a violation of federal finance law, except that Donald Trump clearly did not violate federal finance law.
Correct.
Not only that, the federal government never even bothered to charge him with violating federal finance law, federal election law in 2016. Check your calendar. It is currently 2024. And the case that New York just made is effectively that Donald Trump violated election law in 2016, falsified business records in 2017, and somehow, despite the fact that the statute of limitations has run already, this is now a Class E felony in the state of New York, lengthening the statute of limitations. The number of hoops they had to jump through in order to manufacture this case is extraordinary.
Exactly. I use the term juggling because it's a freaking circus act that's going on over there in New York. Get the hell out of New York. Like you're all saying in the live chat, get the hell out of New York.
Number of pretzel-like contortions the prosecution had to drag the jury through was extraordinary. But in the end, did any of that matter? In the end, was this ever about the legality of the case or the evidence presented by a porn star, Stormy Daniels, or a
No, sir. No, it wasn't.
convicted perjurer, Michael Cohen? Was it ever about any of that? Or was it simply this? If you get Donald Trump in front of a jury of his supposed peers in New York City, one of the bluest places in America, and you charge him with anything, if you charge him with jaywalking, they will convict him. We all know the answer to this. This was, in fact, jury nullification, but it was also prosecutorial nullification and judicial nullification of the law. The law has nothing to do with this verdict whatsoever. This particular trial was certainly about getting Donald Trump. So, did they get Donald Trump? We have yet to find out. I think the backlash on this is going to be extraordinary because this is so obviously a manufactured case. It's so obviously a stupid case that.
So Ben Shapiro, way better, well-versed in this than I am, totally agrees with us here on the Bald Brad Show, and the Bald Brad Show agrees with Ben Shapiro. Yeah, there you go, Jennifer. Merchant is guilty. This whole thing's a sham. It's all politicized. And I want to see what people are posting here on Twitter regarding civil war, because this is some crazy crap. As of today, with this fake guilty verdict against Trump, America is no longer the United States. We're a third world bleep hole heading for a civil war. I have no desire to see this country. I mean, this is not good. This is really not good stuff here, folks. I don't like people talking about civil war because when civil war takes place, you're killing your own family members, your own cousins, your own aunts, your own uncles. It ain't a fun time. That's for damn sure. And the Democrats are doing it very well, too. They're destroying America faster than any of us thought possible. I see a civil war coming, don't you? Lawn Chair says civil war. As long as Trump can remain on the ballot and an opportunity is available for his conviction to be overturned, I'd say we remain on standby for now. Civil war would cause a lot of deaths. It is a last resort measure. Couldn't agree more. That is well said by Andrew Gunner. What do you guys think about this? I'm in the live chat with you, folks. I'm looking at it. I'm reading it. Now's the time, baby, to hit that like and subscribe button. Trump would want it. Let me know what you guys think about this. Voice your opinion in that live chat and comment section. We're all pissed. We're all upset. And if they're willing to do this to Donald Trump, can you imagine what they're willing to do to you guys? And to be fair, this has been going on for quite some time. Just look what happened under Barack Obama. This is not the first time that the justice system has screwed us over here. I mean, remember BleachBit? Hillary Clinton with the freaking server in her bathroom and how she had her staff destroy their cell phones with hammers. Y'all remember that one? Nothing happened. Oh, it's fine. Highly criminal behavior, but no problem. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, all funneling money from China, Romania, Ukraine into their own bank accounts. Nothing to see here. It's fine. No big deal. Holy lordy, this is psycho. You also have Rip Trump here and President Trump. See the latest on this. We're just hanging out here, folks. We're getting out our anger together. Like President Trump said many times, it's not about me, it's about you, but I'm standing in our way. Damn. Could that be any more true? Could that be any more true, folks? That is absolutely correct. The whole thing is a sham. Again, if you're just joining us, guilty verdict. I'm sure you're all aware. It's all over freaking mainstream news right now. I mean, really, even if you break this down, all 34 charges, really? Like if you're going to sit there and act like you're not biased, like if you're going to sit there and act like this isn't politicized, which I mean, let's be fair, it totally is. Wouldn't you at least make it not all 34 charges? You know what I mean? They're just like, hey, you know what? All 34. If you all recall, I said juror number 5 was our best hope, but it was our best hope on this whole unanimous thing. But if you saw, the judge changed it to 444, basically. There's no way of Trump getting out of this without getting screwed. That's really what I'm trying to say here. So sentencing has been scheduled for July 11th. And why is this so important? That's just days before the Republican National Convention. Now, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are struggling with this. You guys, it never happened before. I don't know if he could stay technically behind bars. I don't know if the judge has the authority to keep him behind bars and stop him from going to the Republican National Convention. There's something in there in terms of the law, that the judge is not allowed to do. So a lot of people are still scrambling to try to figure this out of well, what's the president's on there? It's like, how is this going to be handled? In response to the guilty verdict, Trump delivered remarks in which he called himself an innocent man and declared that the real verdict will happen on November 5th, which is election day. I mean, could you imagine, you guys, if Trump technically, right, as of right now, he's a convicted felon. I don't think he is, okay? I just want to be clear on that. I don't think he is. But that is, under law, what he is. Can you imagine having a convicted felon winning the presidency? I mean, I'm voting for the guy. Oh, you're damn right. When that website's back up, I'm donating to Donald Trump again. I donated money to him in 2016. I haven't actually divulged that ever here on the show. I've just told you guys that I voted for the guy in 2016 and 2020. I never divulged the fact that I got a Trump card and that I actually donated to him. And you're damn right, I'm hopping on today and giving that man some money. Exactly. You're right, John. No, John, you're absolutely correct. And that's part of the Democrat platform, is it not, John? That we sit there and have our freedom of speech limited. And you know what's funny is Jill Biden, just yesterday, that we covered here on the show, came out on The View and goes, well, if Donald Trump's elected again, your rights are going to be gone. You're not going to have your rights anymore. Well, really, Jill, because it seems like it was the Biden administration that wanted to put forth the Ministry of Truth. It seems like it was the Democrat Party that worked in conjunction with the big tech companies to utilize YouTube, Twitter, and these other platforms to censor conservatives and Republicans. So John right here in the live chat is damn right. They're constantly coming after us. My videos get flagged every single upload, you guys. Every upload we're flagged regarding advertisements. Because why? Because we're speaking truth here? Because we're not beholden to some corporation, that we're grassroots? All you fine patriots donate to the show. I'm extremely thankful for that. It's because of you guys. We keep the lights on here and we keep things going because it's only me and you, the patriots. This is our George Floyd trigger. They're making a George Floyd film. Heads up for that one. I don't know if you guys knew about that. They're making a George Floyd future film. Finally held accountable. Yeah, sure. Where's Biden being held accountable? Where's Hillary Clinton being held accountable? Where's Barack Obama and his Attorney General Eric Holder being held accountable? I don't know, for espionage. I don't know, maybe utilizing the ATF to give away free guns to the cartel, only to be held to find out who has the guns after the crime's been committed. What about utilizing the IRF to go after their political opponents? Not only did Barack Obama do that, but so did Joe Biden. It's a really big theme here. What about Joe Biden going against the Supreme Court just to give your hard-earned taxpayer dollars to a bunch of Americans for, I don't know, relieving their student debt? Republicans tried, found nothing. We didn't find nothing. That's completely wrong, Tom. We actually have the receipts. We've seen the checks. We have images of the actual checks funneling money from China into Joe Biden's brother's bank account, into Joe Biden's bank account, and Hunter Biden's bank account. And you know what their response was? It was a truck payment. Hunter Biden somehow couldn't afford financing a truck. That was his excuse, but yet the guy's making millions. No, yeah, they didn't find anything. Yeah, they found nothing. They didn't find nothing. The fact that the security measures on his bank accounts have like 100 of them. You will never see that in your lifetime, Tom. You will never see a security measure like you see on Joe Biden's shell companies and all his bank accounts in your lifetime. And he has dozens upon dozens of them, those fraud and security risks. So they found something. It's just the difference between, can we actually get the guy impeached? Can we actually do the same thing to him now that they're doing to Donald Trump? Now, before, I wouldn't say something like that. I would think, I don't like what's going on here. But the fact that they opened Pandora's box here, Donald Trump, oh man, this just made things worse, right? This guy's going to go after you. This guy's going to go after everybody. Let's go back to hear what Fox News is saying.
This office have built upon that fine tradition. Donald J. Trump is guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree to conceal a scheme to corrupt the 2016 election.
Andy, do we know that the jury actually unanimously concluded that?
No, that's what they unanimously concluded was the business records convictions. The bit about the, conspiracy to steal the election is Alvin Bragg's narrative about the convictions. But, look, the victors write the history. And, if this gets upheld on appeal, I don't think it will. But if it does, that's how it'll go down in history. It's certainly, Laura, how it'll be written in the press tomorrow.
Jonathan, what precedent does this set going forward for anyone who comes along to challenge an incumbent like Donald Trump? What precedent does this set?
Well, it's not good precedent, and I think that when people, perhaps some who are celebrating tonight, and the celebrations are occurring all around us, I think that some may look back at this and wonder what we've done. Because there's great damage here. You know, the reference to Dewey was confusing, in my view. It was maddening. Dewey ran against Truman. He didn't try to put Truman in jail. So I don't see Bragg as a Dewey. I think that this is going to be part of a very troubling legacy for not just Bragg, but for the New York legal system. It's a sad day, and I know
my system is telling me there's going to be ad running in about 5 seconds. Stick around, folks. We will be right back here on the Bald Brad Show. We're going to continue, though, as if there was no ad being displayed. It'd be great if you guys could stick around. It does support the show greatly. Like I said, it keeps the lights on here. We got no corporation behind us other than you great patriots that love this country and are voicing what you have to say here regarding this Trump verdict in the live chat. And I'm reading all of them. Accountable for breaking the law. Think there will be an election? That's a great question. I think there will be an election, and they're doing everything again they can to try to keep Donald Trump off the ballot or winning the presidential election. Just shows you how scared they are. And we'll keep you posted here with Fox News. We'll see what else Fox here is posting. Trump becomes the first president convicted of crime in the United States. Here we go. Trump guilty.
Yeah, Judge, if you'll hold on just a second. We see President Trump now. He is walking out. Let's listen.
Trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win. Because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now. From prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists. And they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for a convicted felon? Because he's the best president in modern history. That's why. Easy answer. But they'll continue to tout this stuff, like you see Tom in the live chat here. Tom, who are you voting for? Who's Tom voting for? Everybody asks that in the live chat. Tom, you vote for a little Biden, huh? You voting for more inflation? You voting for a disastrous economy? You voting for more foreign wars? You voting for, hell, your taxes to be, I don't know, increased next year? There's a psycho in the chat. I don't know if Tom is trolling us or not. I don't know who this guy is. Who you voting for, Tom? Come on. We're all waiting. You notice he just labels what the charges were against Donald Trump, which nobody really found out until after the defense actually wrapped things up. Hey, there's always people off their rockers. I don't know if Tom is a subscriber. I don't think he is, but Tom, you got to wake up, brother. Have a cup of coffee with the rest of us. We're glad that you're in here, but holy lordy, you're just, Jesus. Vote for Biden. I'm raising your taxes, his words. That is correct. That is correct, Mundo. Many of you know I used to be a tax accountant. Your taxes will go up. I mean, technically, even if Donald Trump is elected, theoretically, if Congress doesn't sit there and put forward again or extend Trump's tax cuts, yeah, they will go up. You're going to owe about $1,000 to $2,000 more. But Biden's already said, well, your tax rates just aren't going to go up. The rates may not go up, even though he's actually changed the intervals on the rates, by the way. So the percentage actually hasn't changed, but the interval in terms of the gap of what you're going to owe between, say, 15% and 22% and stuff, like that interval has always says buy losers. Later. Hey, well, I'm glad we had one Democrat kind of roll their way in here, but you guys, you can't change people's opinions. We could just sit there and laugh at the guy, and that's who he's going to vote for. So there's a Biden supporter. Has nothing other than to say, oh, he has these 3 charges. He fraud, election interference. Yeah, these are the same people, you guys, that were pushing the whole election interference with the Russia hoax, right? The Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real. Insurrection, the government was being overtaken. There was no fraud in the election in 2020. They're not with us. I say it time again. These people aren't with us, you guys. They roll in the live chat. They come in here in the comment section and say, Joe Biden's the best president ever. It's like, okay, dude. All right, get out a little bit. Get some vitamin D. Maybe wake you up. Tom's sitting behind his computer wearing a mask because of COVID still happening, according to him. That's the guy that drives his car wearing a mask still or goes outside. Holy lordy, poor guy. Poor guy. I've always wondered, they always have that phrase, right? Ignorance is bliss. I wonder if that's why Tom's so happy. Oh, all right. Well, we're getting back to this. Tom left us. Now it's trending. Lock him up on Twitter. We're hanging out, folks. We never do live streams, so we're in it for the long haul, baby. Or at least until I run out of coffee. I even grabbed the big cup, and I made sure to put on the golden state of California because it's not so golden anymore. In some areas, it's just actually brown because people defecate everywhere. That's a good picture, is it not? There you go. Hang that up in your freaking walls, folks. Biden in hell. An evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. That is correct. You're just way, way too old for... Oh, my God. I didn't know what it was until I just saw it. Holy lordy. So we got people here, a Trump supporter on a horse ride in Manhattan. Hell yeah. You never see stuff like that for Biden, right, folks? You never see stuff like that for Biden. Let's go to Tucker here and see what Tucker Carlson has to say regarding this whole debacle. Holy lordy. So he just posted the third world. I think we're waiting on Tucker to actually come live here in any moment. We would love to hear from Tucker. Benny Johnson, our man, was live earlier. Tom plays musical chairs with himself. I just can't believe... I mean, I can believe it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm shocked. I'm just more bewildered because I just never thought that our system would get this bad. You know what I mean? I just never thought... I mean, all 34 is insane, is it not? Look, again, like I mentioned, 10... I'd be like, okay, well, I'd love to learn more about those 10 counts and why you found him guilty. But all 34, it's in New York. It's a sham. Alvin Bragg campaigned on this crap. An election interference? I think you guys raised a great question in the live chat. How is this whole thing not election interference? You are interfering with the election. You're not allowing the man to go on a campaign trail. You gagged the guy. You kept him in court. I mean, isn't that, by definition, interfering? It's remarkable stuff. It really is just remarkable stuff. It's sad, man. Our country's going down the drain. It's going down the pooper. And leave it up to Democrats to do that, right? Leave it up to Democrats to pull this kind of stunt. We no longer have a justice system. This is no longer America. We must support President Trump or we will lose our country forever. Please donate. If you got the funds, I know it's Bidenomics happening right now, but if you got the funds, head over there and support Donald J. Trump. If they're willing to do this, folks, can you imagine? Can you imagine what they're willing to do if Joe Biden gets put back in office? They're coming for everybody. Look what he did during COVID. People go, oh, I don't know, Brad. That sounds pretty egregious. Now look what they did during COVID. They locked up pastors, priests, congregation members for trying to worship and give service. Y'all remember that? He used the IRS to go after conservatives and Republicans. Like, if they're willing to do this on such a global scale, I mean, everybody's looking at this. Can you imagine? We're just no-namers, you know what I mean? I don't mean to belittle us, but hell, we're just average Joe Americans. Just because I have a mic and a camera and you guys watch the show, which I'm extremely grateful for, we're just average Joes. We're not going to make it in the news. Can you imagine the swindling and the foosery that they would do to no-namers like us? Just average Joe Americans? How they would treat us if they're willing to treat a man like this? Like Dan Bongino said, and you folks, you great folks in the live chat, get the hell out of New York. Get the hell out of Democrat-ran areas, man. This is some scary stuff that they're doing this to Mr. Trump. We need President Trump and Nikki Haley to come together and mend their differences. I think they will, but damn, Nick, you know what? I liked Nikki before this. Not only does she have to mend things with Trump, she has to mend things with Trump supporters. She did a lot of things and said a lot of things that she shouldn't have. I didn't like her for doing that. I read her book. I supported her when she was UN ambassador. But I love this. And Wokeness has this perfect. Check this out, you guys. The Clinton, 0 charges or trials. Hunter Biden, 0 charges or trials. Anthony Fauci, 0 charges or trials. Jeffrey Epstein, 0 charges or trials. Meh. Oh, clients, rather. That's true. COVID criminals, 0 charges or trials. DC war criminals, 0 charges or trials. Joe Biden, 0 charges or trials. Hell, Barack Obama, 0 charges or trials. Eric Holder, 0 charges or trials. I mean, Hillary Clinton, just with the Benghazi whole thing, nothing. I don't know how, and I really do mean this. Again, I wouldn't want this type of trial to happen to Joe Biden. I wouldn't want it to happen to anybody here in America that's an American citizen. The way this has played out, are you kidding me? But you know what's weird is Democrats are prancing around, all happy about this. They're always happy until it comes and smacks them right in the face later. Ah, there you go, Cheryl. You're damn right. Somebody should look into the judge. Oh, yeah. This is something. I read a lot of John Grisham books. I don't know if you guys are into John Grisham. He kind of got ripped yesterday for what happened on The View. John Grisham. This is like something you would read out of his books. This is something that you would read out of a novel, like something fiction. You know, John, you're not the first person we've heard that from about YouTube messing with our subscribers, our members, people being unsubscribed, their memberships being removed, their comments being deleted. Trust me. Oh boy. Let them know in the live chat, folks. John, we'd love for you to join us if you haven't already. We'd love for you to become a member because, I have 56,000 subs. I've never bought a sub. I've never bought anything. I've never bought a like or a view. I know you're able to do that. And, you know, we're getting some views now. We're getting about 500, 700 views. We're growing, baby, because you guys, Patriots here, always join us and hanging out. But, oh, man, they've come after our channel bigly. Trust me. Bigly. Oh, here we go. I want to hear what Alex Jones has to say. The frogs are gay, Joe. The frogs are gay. Here we go.
55 plus years ago, our republic was founded. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we see our republic on its deathbed right now. President Trump was just found guilty on all 34 kangaroo counts, with the judge saying you don't even have to agree, just find him guilty in total violation of law. They don't.
Actually, no joke. Will I get removed off YouTube for posting Alex Jones? Fuck it.
Care the case will be overturned. They want the headline in this campaign that he is a convicted felon because they believe that'll backfire on President Trump. I predict, as I've done for the last year, that all these fake indictments and fake convictions that are coming will backfire on the deep state and the globalists. The problem is, if you look at their next playbook and the next card in their playbook, their next move, it will be false flag terror attacks blamed on Trump supporters angry about the verdict. We do not want any violence. We do not want any attacks. We are intellectually, culturally, spiritually winning. We've got to back Trump.
I'm impressed with Alex Jones for saying that. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Alex. I've read both of his books that recently have come out. He says some things that I'm not fully on board with, but I'm actually really impressed here where he's actually keeping it together. He's not going off in all weird directions, and he's exactly right. Calm heads. The civil war that's trending on Twitter ain't the answer. It's not. Nobody wants that. It ain't the answer. Let's not be foolish here. I couldn't agree with him more here.
Up to the hilt. He's not perfect, but he's America first. He cares about this country, and he actually tried to be the president and turn this country around 90%. And the deep state believes they own this nation. They believe they own you. He pulled us out of the UN Health Treaty. He pulled us out of the WHO. They want all of that in place. They want to cut off our energy. They want to put the carbon taxes in. They want to dissolve our borders. They want drag queen pedophile time. And President Trump is opposing every one of their agendas. So now is the time to get serious. With 158 days left, the most important election in world history, realize that the deep state that was hiding is now out in the open, and they are desperate. And they have all these fake civil trials and criminal trials, and they've been caught in every single one of them engaged in classical show trial, kangaroo court, railroading. So this is them being convicted of tyranny and judicial oppression, not President Trump. This is a conviction of the globalists, just like when two judges found me guilty and then...
Look, he's not wrong. He's going to go on a little bit of rant here. You guys, I wasn't laughing at what Alex Jones was saying. I was laughing to what you post in the live chat. I will say this about our Patriots here, the Ball-bred Army, baby. You guys are hilarious. And I read, like I've always said, I read your comments every single day. Some of you go to the extreme. I think you walk that fine line with YouTube, which is why I think, like John's mentioning here, they come for us. They got some dude sitting behind a keyboard with his mask on, just hovering over the Ball Brad channel, even as small as we are, making sure that they keep us in line. You know, if we get a strike, then we get a strike. Am I not right, folks? We all know we have each other's backs here. And if they go after us for having Alex Jones speak a little bit of truth, it just gives affirmation to not only them looking into our channel, but two, that they're a bunch of psychos and they're trying to censor our free speech here. What's interesting here is N Wokeness also posts that time when Pelosi accidentally posted the quiet part out loud. No one is above the law, and everyone has the right to a trial to prove innocence. Only if you sit there and are a Democrat. If you have Republican before or after your name, it's not for you. Wow, Piers Morgan's coming out, you guys. Holy, we got everybody coming out of the woodwork for this one. This is a sad, shameful, and ridiculous day for America. To drag a former president who is running for president again through criminal courts over something so trivial feels a massive overreach and an incredibly divisive and obviously politically partisan action. Well said, Pierce. And Pierce is one of those guys I don't always agree with, but damn. Charlie Kirk, we're a big fan here, Turning Point USA. I've never received so many texts from normie, middle-of-the-road donors as I have today. These are not flame-throwing right-wingers. These are moderates. And they are pissed. They can't believe what just happened despite my warnings. And my warnings as well. Like I said, it creates a really big probability here with that judge, like we talked about yesterday, of putting Trump behind bars. And now we're seeing it in full effect. I'm curious what Tim Pool has to say here. I'm waiting for Tim actually to go live. We'll check him out in just one moment. Y'all were wrong. Do you think Trump will be convicted? Let's show the poll here. Well, I mean, it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. We got Vivek saying the prosecutor is a politician who promised to nail Trump. Correct. He literally ran on it. The judge's daughter is a Democrat operative who literally raised dollars from the trial while her father presided over it. The jury's instructions said they didn't have to agree on the crime to convict. I mean, that is really, I mean, above anything, you guys, that one just blows my mind. I was thinking about it today on the drive home, like, man, you know, what should the show be about? Like, how are we going to talk about this? It's one of those things, like, I hand to God, like, where do you start? You know what I mean? Do you start again during the Obama time? Do you start with Hillary Clinton's time? Do you start with when Joe Biden got into office, where the whole system has not been working in anyone's favor, let alone just, I don't know, have it be balanced and equal weighted and not double-sided or lopsided, rather? This is crazy. Jennifer's favorite in the comments. Jen's great. Jen's been with us for a long time, but so is Miriam. We got a lot. Everybody's here. Kathy, we got a lot of regulars, John. We got a lot of regulars. Really, our community is great. Like I've always said, we're a small channel. A lot of our subscribers, truthfully, they come from our YouTube shorts. We've had many, probably about 5 or 6 viral YouTube shorts. When I mean viral, I'm talking like 5 million views, 3 million views. So a lot of our subscribers actually come from our shorts. I probably should post more of those. But our regulars always hang out. We really do have an awesome community. That's what keeps me going, man. If you knew the crap I deal with behind the scenes, I've had death threats already. I have YouTube going after us. They're trying to demonetize my videos. They have me remove my videos. They go after you guys, subscribers. They delete your comments. I mean, I've seen pictures after pictures. We've hashed this out. We don't need to go down that road again. Just secured a $800,000 donation from someone for President Trump's joint fundraising committee. Never experienced a massive ask that easy. Damn. Can somebody check? I know this is a big ask. Can somebody check to see if Donald Trump's donation site is up or is it still down? Well, we're glad you're here, John, and thank you for being a part of the Bald Brad Army, baby. You're a patriot. There you go. Tim Pool. You know, Tim Pool's really come around, man. Tim Pool's great. If you guys haven't checked out Tim, I'm sure you know who he is. Voting for Trump. He just did recently a Trump interview. Doing the maximum donation, baby. Dude, I can't imagine. Put in the live chat. How much do you think Trump's going to raise? 100 mil? 200 million? I mean, dude, it has to be an insane number. I'm going to see if his donation page is up. Let's see if it's up here. Not working for me. Let me know if it's working for you guys. You know, I'm actually going to open another tab over here.
All through this experience. I mean, the number of people who say to me, they can't imagine how he's been able to stand up and take this kind of a beating and keep coming. I think he's now a bigger figure than he was when the trial started, and it's one of the things the left doesn't understand. I also think that the depth of the corruption is going to change things. And by the way, it doesn't solve any of Biden's problems.
So it does look like it's up now, though. At least I was able to get to it. This is what we have right here. Wait, before you go. So 2024, I love that. 2024, $47. That makes sense. So it is up and running. If you guys have the funds, head over to Donald Trump's website. It's Donald Trump Donate, official Donald J. Trump site. God, the guy looks good, doesn't he? Mr. 4745. Gotta make the money. It's tough, too. You know, I mean, look at the economy, and that's why it's so preposterous. That guy, Tom, that was in the chat earlier going, well, you know, it's the election interference, all these things. It's like, dude, I'm glad that it happened because it just gives credibility to the stuff that we always talk about here on the show on how these Democrats say, yes, sir, may I have another? You have a guy that was just in the chat, right? That's the epitome of what we talk about here all the time on the show. Loves inflation, loves crime, loves the smash and grabs, loves the homeless, meaning watching guys masturbating in front of their kids as they're going to elementary school, or cracked out of their mind through fentanyl, doing the fentanyl crawl, or committing some sort of heinous crime in front of their child. He must love sex trafficking. He must love drug trafficking. He must love the violent gangs that are pouring across the border. He must love these sex offenders that are going after all sorts of people. He must love these immigrants that are crossing over the border illegally that are raping our children and our women. He must love all these things, you guys. He must love the foreign wars. He must love our crippling economy. He must love the fact that nobody takes us seriously. He must love the fact that our military can't actually recruit the numbers we need, even though China wants to invade Taiwan. You got Iran wanting to wipe up Western civilization off the earth. He must love the Democrats sitting there not being harsh on Iran to the point where now they might actually increase their uranium enrichment program to build a nuclear warhead. He must love the fact that North Korea is launching missiles currently, like as of today. He must love all those things. Isn't it a remarkable thing that you can list out all those things at the top of your head and the dude's still for it? He must love the Afghanistan plot and how that one worked out. He must really love the fact that we're giving $40 million every 2 weeks to the Taliban, of which we just spent 20 fucking years fighting a war against that killed American citizens. He must love the fact that we give $10 billion to the Iranians that sit there and perform terrorist acts all around the world. He must love the fact that we're sitting there about to be reamed on our taxes next year. He must love the fact that they're sitting there trying to go after our First Amendment rights, sit there and worship in our places of temple, go after our freedom of speech. He must love the fact that big tech wants to silence, American citizens. He must love the fact that all these things happen. And you can just rattle all that stuff off. It's astonishing. He must love the fact of having a president that can't get a coherent thought out of his mouth. He must love the fact that Jill Biden sits there and gaslights the American people. He must love the fact that Karine Jean-Pierre stands on the podium each and every day and sits there and gaslights and lies to the American people along to the press corps. He must love the fact that that nut job has freaking classified documents next to his Corvette and says it's more safe than Fort Knox. He must love the fact that the guys ran up our national debt. He must love the fact that our inflation was a 40-year high. He must love the fact that on average $4,000 minimum, the average American lost under Joe Biden. He must love the fact that you have to sit there to owe $11,000 to $14,000 more. You have to make $11,000 to $14,000 more under Joe Biden than you did under Donald Trump just to break even. He must love the fact that interest rates are so high for mortgages that people can't or won't get out of their own home or sell it because they don't want to go into a new mortgage. He must love the fact that his taxpayer dollars are going to pay off a lot of people's student debt, even though the Supreme Court said that's unconstitutional, that it's an overreach of the executive branch. He must love the fact that the executive branch doesn't want to actually execute the laws in the books of which Joe Biden was under oath, made a pledge to the American people, as well as to God, even though he's supposedly Catholic, that he doesn't want to uphold. We could keep going here. We could go for an hour saying what Democrats must absolutely love here from the Biden administration that's reaming our country and just pulling us down to the ground. It's ridiculous. Can we get a like for that rant? I'm sweating a little bit after that one. I'll tell you what, I was like, I was trying to like making sure I didn't repeat myself of what other stuff we're going to cover. I mean, I didn't even label everything. Holy Lordy. There really is coffee in here, folks. I'm telling you, we're having a good time hanging out with the Bald Brad Army. Thinking about maybe even doing a live show tomorrow morning. We'll see. Again, if you're here joining us, I'm going to try to do more live shows in the summer here. So about another week, and then we'll wake up early and hang out together. Let's see what's going on here with Fox News. Once again, let's tune in.
Interference. They accused Trump of that, but that's what they're doing. It was always about getting Trump off the trail. They know how powerful he is in just arguing that, remember what you felt like, remember what you were like back in 2019, and how is it working out now? They didn't want that to be the narrative. They think they flipped the narrative tonight. Well, his sentencing will be on July 11th. That's just days before the start of the Republican convention. The angle will be there in Milwaukee. And I mentioned this briefly earlier, but it's important that everyone tonight understand the magnitude of what the jury just decided. Trump faces not just jail time, but probation. And the probation could involve home confinement, drug tests, random searches, and very importantly, travel restrictions. Joining me now, Saul Weisenberg, former deputy independent counsel, Fox News contributor, Chris Landau, former law clerk, Justices Scalia and Thomas, and also former ambassador to Mexico. Chris, let's...
This guy's going to know something here. This guy has his head on straight. Let's check it out.
Really idealistic in believing so, that there was one juror who saw through what was going on, but it was a unanimous verdict, at least on the falsification part of it. Your reaction tonight?
Yeah, Laura, both as a lawyer and as an American, today is a day of great sadness and shame for me. I just feel like this is not what this country is about. I think this proves once again that if a judge wants a jury to convict, the judge has myriad ways of making that clear to the jury. And I think Judge Merchan's name will go down in the annals of American history as the epitome of a crooked and biased judge. You're going to say that guy pulled a Merchan today. And, this is where we are in our country. So, I just think it's a really sad day. And I think the point you just made about the potential for restrictions on Trump, portends even greater mischief as the election season moves on. I mean, this is not going to be a one and done. They're going to try to control this man throughout the whole campaign. And, Judge Merchan and the probation officer can decide what a candidate.
It could affect the whole future of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Saul, that is something with how Chris just touched on this. A probation officer in West Palm Beach working with a probation office in New York could have an outsized influence in the future of the United States of America. Our relationship with China, what will that look like? Our trade law, what will that look like? Our economic system, what will that look like? Our border, will that be enforced? Because of whether the president can campaign or not. Your reaction tonight?
Well, I don't think his political opponents are that stupid. They were stupid enough to bring this prosecution, but I don't think they're that stupid. I think it will backfire tremendously, and I just don't think it's likely to happen. Keep in mind, in addition to being able to appeal a deeply flawed trial, he can, in the state system, I suppose, like in the federal system, the strength of your potential appeal can affect the conditions of bond that you're under. So in the unlikely condition that they really try to restrict his involvement like that, I don't think that it'll fly. Keep in mind also, the highest court in New York reversed the conviction of Harvey Weinstein. Can you imagine anybody more unpopular and more hated in New York than Harvey Weinstein? But that court reversed the conviction based upon improper evidence that was presented. That's true. I don't think it'll be years later here.
That's years from now.
It will not help him in the it will not help him in the campaign trail, and that's why. And I do not believe that we'll try to pull anything like that. Also, I have to say one thing. Others have talked about it, but this is so Orwellian. Thomas Dewey was a great prosecutor in the 1930s and 40s. He was the epitome of trust busting and an honest prosecutor. He's a towering figure in the law. It is the antithesis of everything Thomas Dewey stood for to have brought this case. He never would have brought this case. He is spinning in his grave over this. What an outrage, Orwellian outrage, to quote and to try to associate yourself with Thomas Dewey.
The best was when that reporter, if you can call it a reporter, who asked a question of Bragg tonight saying, well, how does it feel? Are you kidding me? This is like, how do you feel tonight? Like, what's your favorite color? What'd you have for dinner last night?
I was just about to say that, that's not too far off. It's not too far off. Mr. President, what's your favorite ice cream? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Let's see what's going on here. More stuff trending. Tucker Carlson. We the people's now trending. You're damn right. It's the Patriots, baby. There we go. Let's hear what Tim Scott has to say. Potential VP pick, you guys. That's why we're going to listen to this guy. Potential VP pick for Donald J. Trump. Let's roll it.
I can't believe the hoax, this sham, this absolute injustice justice system. D.A. Bragg and the judge should be ashamed of themselves. This isn't just ridiculous. This actually erodes the confidence that Americans have in the justice system. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. But good news is coming. D.A. Bragg, hear me clearly. You cannot silence the American people. You cannot stop us from voting for change. Joe Biden's injustice, Joe Biden's two-tier injustice system, weaponizing the justice system of the United States of America against a political opponent, un-American. Joe Biden, you're fired. We the people stand with Donald Trump.
Well, seemed a little rehearsed, a little dramatic, but the point is made by Tim Scott. Absolute injustice. Couldn't agree with him more. This erodes our justice system. How do you come back from this, you guys? How do you come back from something like this? How do you get the trust back from the American people? I don't know if you do. Now, I think the only way that you do is for something to happen to Joe Biden. That's my conclusion on it. That's the only way I could see is from time and time again, we've seen nothing happen to Democrats for decades. And then you get a guy in that actually puts America first. And because you don't like him, because it's orange bad, mad, that you need to sit there and try to lock the guy up, and now basically are locking the guy up. So if you want to earn the trust of the American people, you got to start doing some of these Democrats where Nancy Pelosi, oh yeah, there's no weird funky stuff going on with these stocks and everything, insider trading. It will end when we, the people, put President Trump back. I mean, that's true too, but still, that doesn't fix the justice system, and it doesn't fix the corruption that's going on with the freaking Democrat Party. Ooh, Carrie Lake in here. Carrie Lake, Biden usually are scared to death of President Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Well, this is a sham trial, and the entire nation knows it. Even the people who have a raging case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, know this is a sham. It's a shameful stain on our history to watch what President Trump has been put through. An incredible president. He is an incredible candidate that the people are behind. Joe Biden, his twisted and corrupt DOJ, these Soros prosecutors and judges are hell-bent on trying to put President Trump behind bars for the rest of his life. He's that much of a threat, Ed, to the corrupt system. And they know that the minute he gets back in Washington, D.C., he's pulling the plug on the swamp. He's draining it down, hosing it down, bleaching it out, and restoring the government back to we the people. And that is a threat to their corrupt system. And every single one of them is scared to death.
As they should be. You go after a man's family, which you did in Mar-a-Lago. They literally went through Melania Trump's underwear drawer. They sat there and were going to use force against Donald Trump. Lock Trump up. Here, we got another one. We got another one in the live chat. Donald, who you voting for? Lock you up. Yeah, Donald, who you voting for? Just throw it in the chat for us, buddy. Let's just throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. This is bigger than what is happening to Trump. We have been on a downward, yeah, you're damn right, downward slope for many years. We have to stand up at the edge of the cliff. I couldn't agree with you more. It is true. The question is, how do we stand up? The question is, what do we do? And a lot of people right now are saying civil war. That is not the answer. That is not the answer at all. I want to see, and I think ABL would be cool with this, hopefully. ABL was streaming an hour ago, and he's not live anymore, so we'll move on past that one. It only took T the last time. Get rid of both those old men with old ways and put someone on the ballot who is much younger. I do want somebody, yeah, younger, but, you know, hey, it's Jimmy. Jimmy, we've seen you in the comment section. How you doing, brother? I was like, man, the names are really small in here, so I'm trying to read them. Jimmy Hoffa has been in our comment section before. He's a longtime viewer of the Bald Brad Show. Yeah, you know, I think all of us kind of would love two different candidates, but of the two, Donald Trump is the best. He does put America first. We may not like the way he says it's, you know, things, but he's a New Yorker. The guy, you know, he's from New York. He's always been that way. This is not a shock the way Donald Trump talks. Like the fact that he was a playboy, he's a billionaire, like anything that they've thrown at us about what Trump has said or did this, like, does not surprise me. It doesn't faze me. Look, we're all men. You know what I mean? We all been in the locker room talk. We know how guys speak to one another. We know how rash some people are across this country. The guy just says and does what he wants. And by the way, look, if you go back to like John Adams' letters or Thomas Jefferson's letters or any of the founding fathers and look at the way that some of them talk to one another, it's God is making America great again. Well, I don't know what that means, but if you look at the way the founding fathers actually talked to one another, they were ripping each other a new one left and right and just really saying insane things. So I would like somebody else after Trump. I really, really like Vivek. Really, really like Vivek Ramaswamy. I read his books. I think he's up there. I like Ron DeSantis a lot. It just wasn't Ron's time. I like everything about the man. At least you know where that is true. At least you know where he stands. And I like the fact that he puts America first. And I like the way that he was running things before COVID happened. And what Democrats go, well, look at COVID. Look at this. Yeah. But you know what? I've been asking this question for 4 years now. Where's the penalty on China? Like, you guys are all here, right? We got like almost 50 people in the live chat. Why is there no penalty on China? I was told by Joe Biden, looking at Donald Trump on the 2020 campaign trail during the debates, going, China's going to eat your lunch, man. Because that's weird, because no penalty since Joe Biden's been in office has happened to China. But China gets to unleash a massive virus upon the globe. You know, it's fine. No big deal. Nothing to see here. This is kind of cool. You guys will like this. There you go. First outlaw president. Damn right, baby. Woo! He looks good, too. I'm telling you, Trump's going to look good in anything. You know what I mean? Trump will look good in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden ain't look good in nothing. Joe Biden goes, how could I build a $1 zillion bridge? Just like, Donald, who you voting for? We're waiting for in the live chat. We're waiting. We're all patriots in here. We want to hear who you're voting for. You just said God is making America great again. Only if Donald Trump is elected. That's for damn sure. So there is a new, this just released, there is a new ad response to guilty verdict. So let's see what this is going on. Let's check this out. New ad here by Donald Trump.
Oh, I bet there's rich folks eating from a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can be free. But those people keep a moving, and that's what tortures me.
Oh, that's too good. That's too good. I love Benny's openers there. I love his openers. Let's go ahead and see what Trump has to say here.
Political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Well, I love our boy Benny. I think we're going to wrap it up there, folks. Think about donating to the show. There is a thanks. There is a super chat. If you want to give your hard-earned money, please feel like you don't have to, folks. We're not pushing it here. It's just there for those that want to give. There is a membership over here. You just hit the join tab. You do have to log in. 99 cents a month you could donate to the show. We'll see what happens here. I feel like Bleep's going to hit the fan, but I would love still for all of you to leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the sham of a trial. And support us in any way possible. Always check us out. We go, I don't want to say live, but we premiere a video every single morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We go over all sorts of news. We have fun together as a Bald Brad community. Would love your support by checking out all our content. Always hit that like button and comment down below. And folks, I will see you later tomorrow on the Bald Brad Show.